Hey guys, it's Kat here. We are going to go over the main center of the gym of all the equipment. So we're gonna start with the bench. This is our Maxx bench. The nice thing is it has our safety that lowers you all the way down. So we're gonna go over how you can kind of set yourself up. So it comes all the way back up once you stand up. So for us who are a little bit shorter, lay yourself down and then tap the bench slightly, just a little bit, so that way you can get your feet nice and flat on the ground so that you can press through your heels. You want to make sure that your shoulder blades are nice and flat on the bench. So if you have a little bit of arch, that's okay. Whatever you need to do to get yourself nice and secure. I like to go kind of a football kind of stance up where my thumbs are, wrap around from there, and that's kind of where my grip is. You're going to press straight up. You're going to come down, just kind of where your breastbone is, and then back up. So down, and then up, re-wrap. So if you get stuck, so you come all the way up, come down, and you can't press anymore, hit the silver lever, it's going to drop you down. You can roll it forward, and then sit all the way up. And then you can stand up, the bench will rise, you can take off the weights and the clips, and then re-wrap your bar. And again, depending on your arm length, you have your 3 heights. And if you are shorter, we always have our other bench once it's there. So nice little chest part. Next up is our leg press. So first thing, I will note, there's a little lever under here. It kind of sticks out, so watch your step. If you pull it out, grab here, and you can lower the seat back, which will give you a greater range in your hip. Pull it out, it comes back up. Pick whatever height you would like, whatever feels most comfortable. To get in, step your feet in. I like to hold on to here, and then lower yourself down. So you place your feet up, you can place them narrow, shoulder width, wide, high for a little bit more hamstring, lower for a little bit more quads, in the middle for kind of everything. You're gonna press up, turn the yellow handles out, and you're gonna bring your legs all the way in, making sure to keep your butt and back nice and flat, knees in line with your shoulders. Don't let them cave in, keep them pressed out, and then back up, lower down, back up, and then you can just turn the handles back in, and lower down to get up, reach up, stand up, and step out. Versus trying to like roll out. A lot simpler. So next up, this is our assisted pull-up and dip machine. We're first gonna go over the weights. So our weight stack has red, yellow, and green. Easiest way to think about this is red, you're staying on the machine. Yellow, it's gonna get a little bit harder. Green, you're good. You can start moving out and using the bands to try to do a body weight. So we're gonna start off with a pull-up. So I'll take my weight, whatever I choose, minus that, and that's what I'm gonna be lifting. So it's not actually lifting 140 pounds. So step onto the little steps, step up. You can either put your hands parallel, here, wide, you can also go under. So place your one knee up, then your other, go full range, and then drive those elbows in, come all the way up. Back down. And then all the way up. To get down, calm down. I like to place my one foot, hand, guide yourself back up. And then you can step off. That way the weight stack doesn't cling and eventually break things. We don't want that. So for dips, you can either keep them inwards or you can rotate them out. So this is out, this is in. It all depends on the width of your shoulders, what feels better for your shoulders. So I like mine inwards. I always grab up, press down, hand back. Try to be as close to the back as you can. Think about pushing your shoulders down so they're not coming up towards your ears. Bend those elbows to the back, pressing straight up. Down, and up to step off, step down, guide it back up, and then step right on down. So next up, we have our hack squats. So we're gonna start with this one first. So you're gonna sit yourself down, shoulders and neck in between the handles here. You're gonna push yourself up so that way you can turn the levers, so that way you can actually move. I like to place my hands here, that way they're out of the way. You can place them wherever. Step myself forward. I like to turn my toes out a little bit, but again, your preference. And you're gonna drive yourself all the way down so you feel like a little click, and then drive back up. Try not to hyperextend those knees, so don't lock them out. Protect those knees. Down, back up, down, and up. And then walk yourself back. Turn the handle a bit, lower down. So the place to put the weights for these guys are just at the back here. Slide your weights on, slide them off. There's one on each side to even you out. So the other hack squat is this guy. So to do it kind of the same way as that one, slide yourself inwards, feet nice and planted, push yourself out. This time, turn these handles in. I will warn you, these sometimes drop out, so I like to hold them. You're just gonna drop down, keeping your back nice and flat against the pad. Drive yourself up, down, and up. Turn the hands out, and lower down. So that's number one. Number two, your heels are gonna slightly be off. Shoulders are gonna go on the in pad here. You're gonna keep your back nice and straight. Drive yourself up on an angle. Turn the hands in. Push your hips back. As you come forward, bring those hips forward. So again, that straight line. Down and up. So another thing that you can do is standing calf raises. It's just coming up on your toes, dropping those heels. Your toes can be lifted as you go down, coming up, and down. Really trying to think of press through your big toe and your pinky toe to really get that good calf work. And then when you're done, just lower down, roll those hands out, and drop down. So instead of doing standard calf raises, you can do seated. So seated, first off, depending on the size of your quads, you can adjust this little guy. Don't actually pull it all the way. So put your toes on the pad here so that your heels hang off. Bring this, I like to bring it just off my knees. Not super high, but just kind of lower quad. You're gonna lift up, drop the handle out. You're gonna bend all the way down, get that good calf stretch there. Drive all the way up, down, and up. Really make sure that you're sitting nice and tall and not leaning forward. Not gonna get much, so nice and tall. Really let the calves do all the work. Down and back up. To get out of it, bring the handle in, set it down, and again, the weights just go on the rack right here. So that is your calves. Next up, we're gonna go to the Smith machine. So the Smith machine is kind of a nice starter. So if you're wanting to do back squats or front squats, instead of using the barbell, which can be intimidating, this guy's really nice. It has kind of your safety to rack back up, and it's attached to something, which is fantastic. So to set it up, we're gonna start with a squat. You wanna make sure that it's kind of sitting just about shoulder height. So this is kind of the perfect height for me. It's gonna sit kind of on my traps. Depending on your height, you might have to go a little bit lower. So you might have to squat to get into it, or you might have to go a little higher to go on your toes. But I prefer to go under if need be. So you're gonna put your hands on the rack. Try to be nice and center. You're gonna kind of push up, rotate forward, and keep those hands rotating forward. Then you're gonna lower down, back up, down, back up. Once you're done with that, you're gonna rotate back and do a shoulder check and lower down. Just that way you're making sure you're actually gonna hit one of the knobs and you're not in between and just letting it fall. So that's for like a squat. If you're gonna do shoulders, face the mirror. Same thing, you're gonna rotate backwards. You're gonna press straight up, come back down, straight up, and come back down. And then once you're done, rotate forward and lower down. So it's kind of a nice setup. You can pull a bench in, you can do some chest press, flat or incline or decline. The nice thing is if the cable machines are a bit full, you can use these cables. So this cable will be on this weight stack. This cable will be on that weight stack. To adjust them, depending on what you need to do, move the yellow little knob, pull out, and lift up. And they can fit in any of the little holes. So it is adjustable to your height. If you want to switch out any of the clips, just unclip it and pick any of the attachments here or the ones in the center there. So it all depends on what's available. That is all of the machines in the center of the gym. Nothing too crazy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us.